University's main campus in Braamfontein in Johannesburg. The violence occurred after two students vowed to shut down all academic activities, which were set to resume this morning. Protesting students removed other students from lecture halls before the confrontation with police occurred. One journalist has been wounded. This is what happened.
Police are now firing stun grenades because they're unable to move in these two inyalas from this area to where students are now flinging these stones. I see at this stage as we see police now wrestling with one of the students there. Unbelievable scenes here at Wits University. Absolute chaos as both of the inyalas that students were preventing from coming into the area close to where the Great Hall is situated, and the police inyalas have now managed to break away the crowd that's been gathered here on the steps of the Great Hall.
Well, that's just a glimpse of the chaotic scenes from earlier, but let's get an update on the situation at the moment. We cross to Chriselda Lewis, who's been covering this for us. Chriselda, in the weeks we've been covering this, we have not seen the kind of violence that we saw a short while ago. What's happening at the moment?
Well, Natasha, the situation here at Wits University's main campus is still extremely tense at this point. Police are still chasing some of these students who they've managed to disperse from here on the stairs of the Great Hall after running battles between police and the protesting students. The situation absolutely untenable. What we do know at this stage is that all lectures have now come to a halt after students marched from one lecture hall to the other to remove these students and the lecturers. You recall, of course, that the institution had indicated that lectures were to resume here this morning, but to much interruption, there's absolute chaos here. Police have fired several rubber bullets as well as tear gas, and they also brought in a water cannon this time around. The large police contingent that we've seen here at Wits University is absolutely unprecedented since these protests started. We've never seen such a large police contingent. Just a few minutes ago, a number of students who were arrested were also taken to what we believe would be the Hillbrow police station. They will face several charges of public violence at this stage, but we'll get a bit more information on exactly what the additional charges will be. But all of this started when students gathered here on the steps of the Great Hall and basically wanted to enter the Great Hall, but they were met by a number of private security personnel who'd been manning this area since very early this morning. And the situation at this point still extremely tense at this point. Let's speak to one of the mediators now who'd been with this process since the very beginning. We've got Bishop Sioka as well as Bishop Siwa as well here to join us. Let me start with you, Ntate Sioka. The scenes that we've seen here at Wits University, I see you were trying to speak to the police as well just a few minutes ago about how many students were arrested.
Well, we are very disappointed because we started last week mediating, trying to broker for peace and asking the parties involved to engage in conversation so that they can work together on the solution. And now the police have just started arresting students. They refuse to tell us who they are, how many there are. And it all started when the university refused to open the main entrance to the Solomon Mahlangu square, so where they wanted to gather and talk to each other.
From what you've been gathering here, this is the largest police contingent that we've seen since the beginning of these protests. In your engagement with the police, is there any hope perhaps that they will be able to move back and perhaps allow the students entry into Solomon Mahlangu House? Because the concern from the university at this stage is that if they're allowed in there, then I guess the situation will continue to be as chaotic as we saw it just a few minutes ago.
No, I think the principal can actually ask the police to withdraw, because students saying they don't want a militarized campus. Look, since 1976, we've never seen so many police on campus, and they are actually agitating the students. If you arrest them, tear gas them, use water cannons on them, stun grenades, it makes them very angry. And that's how the stones started being thrown all over the place. So it can be stopped. Open the gates, allow them in. I spent the whole day with them, moving from one block to another, and they never once did they try to force doors open. They just appealed nicely that those who were having classes, they must disperse or join the march to the other areas. So as far as I'm concerned, students were very peaceful in all their efforts until they got back here and wanting to go into Solomon Mahlangu building.
Dr. Siok, I'm going to just ask you to move towards this direction. Let's bring in Untate as well, who's also been part of the major mediation that we've seen here at Wits University. And Dr. Siok, from what you've seen taking place here at Wits University, let's get your account first of all.
I think the most important thing now is to get the police out of here. So if the management, the administration of the university can sit down and come up with a new strategy. This is crisis, but this is not war. Once you begin to talk the war language, you're inciting the people. And I think the first thing is just to get the police out and then have a conversation for internal issues at Wits. But we know that the issue is far bigger than that. I think the right leaders of society, of government, must intervene at this time. It's urgent. That's what we are calling for.
But what is the plan moving forward from the mediation team? Do you plan now to try and get the Vice-Chancellor and all the other interested parties, including the students, back to the negotiating table? Because it certainly seems like the situation is going from bad to worse.
Of course, that's the ideal thing to do now, is to get them to sit down, but not in the context in which you witness now. We have to calm everybody down, get the police, move back into some other place where they be called if necessary. But police are not decision makers. I think we're overexposing them. They're also parents. I think they must get out of the campus and let the real stakeholders, starting with students and the administration of the university, to find a way forward together.
Is there a plan for a meeting in the next couple of hours, perhaps lined up between the Vice-Chancellor, the Council, the Senate, as well as the mediation team and the student representatives?
As I've just come in now, I don't know what's the next plan because of the chaos that has just happened. I think Bishop Joe can answer that question.
Dr. Thank you very much for your time. The clergy has certainly been a very instrumental part of the negotiations to try and get the academic program resumed here at Wits University, but certainly to no avail. I think what they will certainly do now has indicated that they will try and get the university management as well as the students and all other interested parties again back to the negotiating table, perhaps to try and ensure that a sense of normality does return here to Wits University. But what we do understand at this point is that the students have now marched to various areas on the campus as well as outside of the campus. My colleague Maheketla Mutlabe is there. I'm hoping you'll be able to cross to him in just a few minutes, or perhaps you already have. But from where I'm standing at this point, a large police complement still remains here just in front of the Great Hall, and some of these police officers are the ones who were trying to contain the situation just a bit earlier on. But many of the students have dispersed to various areas. Others have regrouped on the other side, but a large police presence on different sides of Wits University at this stage. Back to you in studio.
Chriselda, thank you very much. Chriselda Lewis live there from Wits University, going to the Western Cape now, where protesting students have disrupted classes at Stellenbosch University. Management says it might have to suspend academic activities today if the action continues. Stellenbosch University